Hello and welcome to the tip of the week. Hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the idea of responding to accusations. Um, when I first learned this tool, it was really huge for me because it gave me a framework for working with some of the messages that people give that are hard to sort of understand at times. So when I talk about an accusation, generally what I'm saying is speaking of is when an individual or someone sends us a message, and as the receiver of that message, um, we feel blamed or accused of something. Sometimes the accusation is explicit and very direct, but most of the time accusations are implied, which means that we are having an experience of being blamed, yet it's very difficult to respond to it because it's sort of cloaked in a message that is hard to understand, or it could be even confusing. Often, if someone's upset with us and they have a tough message for us, um, they may deliver a message in a very unskillful way that makes it difficult for us to understand it. Um, the key here is really to trust yourself if you do feel like there's an accusation coming, if it's implied, and being able to really slow down in the moment with somebody. First of all, if an accusation comes, we want to be able to take a deep breath and really ground ourselves and manage our triggering process, which means we need to be able to de-trigger if we start to feel triggered. We want to maintain a position of not becoming defensive in the face of the accusation, because the natural response to an accusation or blame is to feel defensive. So you want to manage your defensiveness. The second thing that you want to do is you want to get clear about what the accusation is. So, for instance, if someone said to me that I don't care about them, that might be a good example. It would be very easy for me to become defensive and start to explain how busy I am and tell them that they maybe don't know what they're talking about or they don't know me very well. But if I'm able to stay grounded and I'm able to really work with the message that's coming and the accusation that is implied, that is what I'm responding to, is what I'm hearing the person say is that they feel I'm not a caring person. And when I'm able to sort of get to that message, I can ask them, is what you're saying, are you saying that I'm not a caring person? That actually helps them feel understood and de-escalates the conflict a little bit. You may have to ask several questions, staying grounded, taking many deep breaths in order to get clear about what the person is saying. But once you are clear, then you can effectively respond to it. And there's two things that you can do with an accusation. You can pick up the message and respond to it by taking ownership over it, or you can take a stand for something that's important to you. So, in the example I used above, if someone was implying that I wasn't a caring person, um, I may be able to pick that up in part by saying, sometimes when I get busy and I get preoccupied with my work, it seems like I don't care, and I can understand that. And in that moment, that person feels really, really heard. And now we're able to go into a dialogue as opposed to me becoming defensive and defending myself against the accusation. What I'm doing is I'm listening to the message, I'm getting clear about what the accusation is, and then I'm responding by owning my part in it in response to them. The next thing that I want to do with that is I want to check in with them to make sure that I'm hearing it correctly and give them a chance to talk and continue to listen. And at some point, I may want to agree to make a change moving forward with the other person. We may want to negotiate some sort of a moving forward plan. Um, I may want to ask the person how would they feel cared for and what do they need from me. And at some point I want to be able to ask for my needs in the relationship to be met as well. The other thing that can happen with accusations is once we've clarified and picked up our part in it, we may need to stand up for ourselves. It's not always about yielding to other people, but sometimes we need to take a healthy stand for the things we believe in. So it may be that when I get busy, I go into a very focused mode, and that's an important process for me, and that's probably not something I'm going to change in the near future. So it still brings us to that place of how do we work with this moving forward? How do we stay connected as opposed to becoming disconnected? And it's about taking our relationships deeper with each other in our organizations and communities. Often people's feelings get hurt very, very easily, and when our feelings get hurt, there's a part of us that wants to hide away, and in that process we become disconnected. And what I'm suggesting is that by responding to those implied or direct accusations in a way that is powerful, we can deepen our connection with each other by creating more understanding. Um, I've outlined the steps below in the email in this tip. So as always, the best way to develop this skill is to put it in practice in your daily life, in your real relationships. And start small. Don't start with big topics or big issues, but start small with the people that you trust, and just continue to deepen those connections and demonstrate a willingness to resolve conflict without blame. And notice your response to accusations as they come up. In all the varied ways that they show up on our life, and just be kind to yourself, and know that when those things do come up, it's a call to gain clarity, to ask questions, to deepen connections, and to create understanding. Have a great week.